everyone, it's Cher, and this is Share and Tell. In this video, I'll be giving you 10 tips for creating a positive classroom environment and to cut back on all that yelling. So stay tuned. Alrighty, so you do not want to be that teacher that's yelling all day long to the point where you have no voice left at the end of the day. Trust me, once upon a time, that was me, because I believed that that's what I had to do to get kids' attention. And it does work for a little bit, but it is not good for a long-term solution. So I made the decision that I was no longer going to be the teacher that yells, and this is exactly how I was able to do that, by creating a positive classroom environment. So here are my 10 tips for you in your classroom if you feel like you're just that teacher who's just so sick and tired of yelling. First, let me get my glasses. All right, and we will get started. Okay, number 1, apply the golden rule. Guys, listen to me. You have to treat these children the way you would like to be treated if you were them, or if your own children were in somebody else's care, how would you want your children treated? We have to apply the golden rule. I treat my kids the way I would like to be treated, or the way I would want my kids, if I had any kids, to be treated. And yes, we're much older. Yes, we're much more educated and experienced in life. Yes, that's true. But that doesn't make their existence, their thoughts, feelings, and opinions any less valuable than ours, okay? Yes, we're old enough to be their parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, okay? We know that. But that does not mean that anything goes with the way we speak to them, the way we look at them, the way we correct them, because all children need correction. But you don't want to shame a child. At least I don't do that, because I do believe in children having self-respect and making sure that they still have their dignity. So please treat these children the way you would like to be treated. Greet them with a smile. I know this job is not easy, so some people might be rolling their eyes like, oh please, but trust me, it makes a difference for them and for you. Number 2, inspirational quotes, okay? Inspirational quotes. I have them everywhere. I have them on the walls. I have them hanging from the ceiling. I have them on the board when they first walk in. I have a board in my classroom called the FYI board. So it's just things for student information. And under the FYI board is a message from the teacher. So I make sure to put a quote there every day, something inspirational. It could be coming straight from me. It could be coming from the internet. It could be coming from a book. Something positive that the kids can look at and see for the day. And trust me, they notice. They really do. They don't always comment on it. But I know last year, I wrote a message up there and the student was like, Miss Pierre, what does that mean? And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, the message, I don't get it. I was like, wait, you read that? He's like, yeah. And the other kids were like, yeah, we read it. And I was like, oh, okay. So they don't always give you feedback, but they see it. They see it and it makes a difference. And it shows, wow, the teacher cares. I always give them a message and it always says at the end, love Miss Pierre. I always make sure that's how I sign it, okay? Number 3, make students contributors in your classroom. With my kids, my homeroom, I have 25 kids in my homeroom. You bet every single one of them have a job. Has a job. Every single one of my students has a job. I come up with jobs for everybody to do. There's always something for them to do. And my kids, this age group, they're always wanting to do something. You gotta keep them busy or it's gonna turn into trouble. So with my kids, they always have a job, okay? I rotate jobs every 2 months. So whatever job you're assigned, so let's say this is September. They're assigned a job in September. They have that job for all of September, all of October. When November rolls around, they have a whole new job. And I make sure that I don't repeat jobs, that they all get something different throughout the year. They don't do the same job twice during the year or anything like that. I try my best with that. And also, I have team captains. Team captain changes every week. So everybody in my classroom has a job, okay? Everybody. And so when they feel like they play a part in the classroom, it cuts back on bad behavior. Trust me, it makes them feel like, oh, I belong here, I play a role here. And I tell them all the time, no role is too small or too big. Don't think that because you don't have the job of cleaning the classroom that your job is not as important. Please don't think that, okay? So please, I make sure students are contributors. It even gets to the point where I ask them for their opinions. I say, hey, I need someone's opinion. Ooh, 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 ooh. Trust me, okay? I get a whole class full of monkeys. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay? And I'm like, okay, I need your opinion. I'm writing on this poster. What color should I use, red or blue? Miss Pierre, I think you should use blue. Okay, thank you. And I use blue. And they feel so good that I asked that they had input in what I was doing. Or sometimes I make a decision. Sometimes I can't always make a decision on the spot. So I ask them to help me out. Hey, I need someone's opinion. Ooh, 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 ooh. Do you think we should put the computers away and then go to lunch? Or we should put the computers away when we come back from lunch? Miss Pierre, I think we should put the computers away now, because this way when we come back from lunch, we don't have to worry about it. You know what? Thank you, sir. Let's put the computers away. Appreciate your opinion. It makes a huge difference in my classroom. Number 4, celebrate everyone's differences. I work in a district where there are a lot of first-generation American students. Parents are coming from a different country, have come from a different country, and now they were either born here or they came here really, really young. And a lot of them are still trying to navigate that American life, and that, okay, this at home I'm being raised this way, at school I'm being raised that way. So, they're still trying to figure it out. And I empathize with that because my parents are immigrants. They came from Haiti, and then I was born here. So I understand that struggle between two cultures. So I make sure that we celebrate everyone's differences. The first week of school, I find out where everybody is from or their family. I want to know where everybody's from. And what we do is, once I find out where everybody's from, I print out pictures of their flags. I put them on posters. We all research some information about the countries, and I put a quick fact, maybe 1 to 2 sentences about each country, and it stays up there for the whole year. And every now and then, when there's a conversation about culture or conversation about language, we refer back to that poster and we say, oh, such and such, aren't you from Ivory Coast? They speak French, right? Oh, yeah, we speak French. This cuts back on bullying, teasing, all sorts of stuff. When you already celebrate differences with these kids, they're less likely to attack each other for those things, at least in my experience. And so, that again keeps me from having to yell in the classroom. Number 5, give sincere commendation. You want to give the kids commendation and be specific about it too. So you don't want to just good job them to death, but you also want to tell them exactly what they did right. Oh my goodness, Joshua, you did such a great job on number 6. Do you know how many other kids were struggling with this one? Wow, show me how you did that. And then, oh, okay, well, the way I figured it out was X at body, blah. Oh my goodness, Joshua, thank you so much for your answer. I appreciate that. And, it makes them feel good about themselves. But you don't want to overdo commendation, because after a while they feel like they don't have to do much for it anymore. And it starts to sound cheesy. It's like, she always tells me I do a good job, whatever, So you don't want to overdo it. You want to give it just enough. All right. Number 6, pick your battles. Pick your battles. This comes with experience. You just know what is worth your time, what is not, what is worth your energy, and what is not. Also, along with picking your battles, you also have to choose when to address certain things. So picking your battles involves being selective about what you're going to address and how you're going to address it. And then also it involves when you're going to address it. Okay, so you don't want to call out certain kids that'll throw a tantrum because you embarrass them. Maybe you need to wait till the class is gone and pull them to the side and say, hey, I need to talk to you. What was that about? You You need to pick your battles. Seriously, that helps with a positive classroom environment. Number 7, allow students one-on-one time with you. Sometimes there's certain things on their mind that they really don't want to talk about in front of everybody, but they'll open up if it's just the two of you. So I have a box in my classroom where kids can put the DMs, okay, the direct messages, and they can mark it private. And so we know that once I see that it's been marked private, that means that we can talk later. We can talk alone or whatever, out in the hallway, whatever. So this way I know what's on their mind, and it makes them feel like, oh my goodness, Miss Pierre cares about me. Trust me, that cuts back on my classroom student behavior big time, okay? Number 8, self-reflect. It's so important as a teacher for you to sit back and think about what went wrong and how it can go better next time. Because when you have kids doing throwing tantrums and outbursts and things, you have to sit back and figure out, okay, what in the world happened? This place turned into a zoo. It went from 0 to 100 real quick. What happened here? So now you sit back and you reflect and you say, you know what? I noticed that Tiffany got really upset when I moved April out of her group. I wonder what the dynamics of that friendship is. Why was Tiffany so upset about that? You know what? I want to pay a little bit more attention to that tomorrow and see what happens. So you just sit and self-reflect, look to see what's going on in the classroom, be very observant with the kids and their relationships with each other. That also plays a huge role in class and making sure you have a good, positive classroom environment. Number 9, be forgiving. Let me tell you something. These kids are going to test you 24/7, okay? And you ain't even with them 24/7, but they going to do it 24/7, okay? Be forgiving. Don't hold grudges against these kids, and I'm going to tell you why, okay? Holding grudges against the kids, when you hold a grudge against somebody, you always going to be emitting negative energy, and they feel it. They feel it. Negative energy is real. Energy is real, period. But especially negative and positive. And if you're holding a grudge towards a student, they're going to feel that you really don't like them. And so some kids feed off that negative energy and they give it right back to you. Okay, so now you're having a screaming match with an 8-year-old, all right, because you're still mad about something that happened 4 months ago. You have to be forgiving. It's not easy, but I wake up every day and I try to start fresh. Whatever happened yesterday was yesterday. Today, clean slate. Let's just move on from whatever happened the day before. And when they feel like they've been forgiven, that they have forgiveness, that they've been pardoned, a lot of times it helps them feel like, okay, you know what? Let me get my act together because, she moved on. I want to get my act together. This is my experience anyway. And number 10, so important. Please be patient, be patient. Okay. These kids are growing up in unprecedented times. We already know this. Okay. Currently we're in 2020. We know what kind of year this has been. The world has changed tremendously since a lot of us were kids. Entertainment has changed tremendously since a lot of us were kids. We don't know what their households are like. We don't know what environment they're going to every single day. We don't know the whole picture. So be patient with them, okay? If they are looking kind of crazy, or they're looking sideways at you, or they're giving you some type of vibe, a lot of times it really has nothing to do with you. It really has nothing to do with you. And I've learned not to take it personally. It's just that they got some stuff going on. And when you got a 10-year-old, I'm talking about my kids, because since I teach 5th grade, a lot of my kids are 10 years old, 11, and you got them dealing with so many different stresses, they don't have the maturity to handle these things. So they just act out and all that other stuff. So be extra patient with these kids. And again, that goes back to my point number 1, apply the golden rule. When you apply the golden rule, treat them the way you would like to be treated. How do you feel when you have a bad day? How do you feel when things just aren't going your way today? How do you feel when somebody cuts you off in traffic? How do you feel when somebody's mean to you and you did nothing to them, but they just were having a rough day and they took it out on you? How do you feel at the end of the day? So imagine our children, and then we're asking them to do all this stuff, right, that they really don't want to be doing, and then we're asking them to be nice and be courteous and do your work and complete it. Where's your name? Where's your date? There's a lot of things that we're asking of them, and think about how you feel when people are asking a lot of you. All right. So these are my 10 tips for creating a positive classroom environment. This helps me so much because it cuts back on yelling. When I tell you, I barely have to yell. And if I ever get to the point of having to raise my voice, they understand, oh my goodness, we really made Miss Pierre upset, because it's not something that I use all the time. So when it finally does come out, when the lion roars, okay, everybody stops, okay? So don't stress yourself out more than you need to. This job is already stressful as it is, but then when you're yelling all day, every day, it just makes it even harder for you. It's crazy headaches. Your voice is sore, your throat is sore. It's not worth it to be going through all of that. So if you can create a positive environment, that's the best way to go. I hope this video was so helpful to somebody. I really, really hope that these are some tips that you can use. Did I miss anything? Comment below. Let me know that I missed something or something you'd like to add or elaborate on. Please let me know. Let's get this discussion going, okay? Thank you so much for watching. I'd appreciate a like, comment, subscription, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.